Welcome to Spiritual and Sassy, the podcast where we bleed deep soul wisdom with authentic confidence.
We're your host,
Tressa
and Myra, and together we'll explore the mystical side of life, challenge societal norms and programming, and embrace our inner power.
Whether you're on a spiritual journey or just love a little sass, this space is for you.
Let's dive in and light up the world with a little more love.
Hey, it worked this time.
It does work this time. We had some massive technical difficulties, folks, last time.
We just couldn't record. It just wasn't working.
Happen.
But I always believe divine timing works. Wasn't meant to be that day, so
I agree.
It's all good.
I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
You know, I think of it like, for those of you in the corporate world, if you're in a lot of meetings and when a meeting cancels, you're like, cool. You know, the universe is giving me time back.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, you know, or like if an event cancels I look at it that way too, or something just doesn't work out, then, oh, that's cool. I needed the time for me. No biggie.
Yeah. It just wasn't meant to be. Yeah. No matter what I did last time, would not recognize anything.
It was not. No.
But hey, we had a whole conversation for like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was great. You know. Yeah, it was great. So it was all well. Yeah. It just wasn't recorded.
Yeah, it just was not recorded. For sure. Yeah. Hey, I was going to ask you before we got on the podcast, but you won $555?
I did.
Yeah.
I won. Yeah. So, oh my gosh.
On what?
Folks,
Tell me.
I did on DraftKings. Yes. So I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago about my potential enjoyment of sports betting. Or I might have mentioned it in private. I can't remember
what the hell was in private.
Out of my mouth.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was on the podcast. Anyway,
either way,
getting into this.
Yes. So I've just been like dilly-dallying, folks. Okay. Like I would tell you if I was going hardcore, people, and I'm truly not going that crazy. I've been dabbling, having a little fun with it, and it's not been that successful, right? And the other day I was telling Tressa about it, and she's like, well, not yet. And I'm like, not yet? What the hell? Does she know something? Anyway, so then I thought, okay, because I had put it to bed, folks, because it wasn't going anywhere. And I had, honestly, this is so funny. And I don't know if listeners out there, there's a thing that people joke about called girl math, right? The girl math. When you go shopping and you use a coupon. Yeah. And you're like,
you round down.
Be $5,000, but I'm still, you know, Blake's looking at me
and like, $4,999.
Yeah. Or you round down, or you say it was on sale, and he's like, well, you still spent like $2,000, you know, or whatever. I'm just making something up. And anywho, so I don't know if they're people are doing this intentionally, but every week or night, or there's an event. And honestly, I've only figured out the NFL betting, okay, which is easy for me. I'm actually learning players. I guess this is what people do when they play fantasy. They learn players. They learn.
Yes.
Like I'm watching shit that I don't even ever watch.
It's a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different world apparently. And I'm like, but I like money. So, hey, I'd rather make some cash. But anywho, I got on and they do these little offers. And so I had already used my original offer because before when I was telling Tressa, I had been using their money. Like they gave you a certain amount of money. So I've been playing with their money. So I was being very crazy with it. You know, I'm like, oh, if like 16 legs, I'll hit it. You know, like I just was like having a ball, right? Well, this time I used my own money, but I got on. It was like Thursday night football. And it was so fun. Also, I texted Tressa because it was her team, you know, playing that night. Like I don't think I've ever watched the Steelers.
They did not win, but anyway.
They did not win, and I felt bad. But I thought about our former coworker Keith because he's a Bengals fan, right? And so like, I was like, this is fun. You know, I'm reminiscing with my friends that they don't know I'm even reminiscing with in spirit. You know, I'm not talking to any of them during this game. Anyways, and so I got on, and they offered like a 50% boost for that game, or something crazy. It might have been 30. Sometimes they offer 33, which gets me in my feels. I'm like, ooh, 33, you know, but, you know, I'm like, ooh, I like it. And I got on and I saw it and I'm like, you know, let's see. And when I think about it, I think too much about it. And I got on, and I will tell you this, folks, every week that I've bet about somebody scoring a damn touchdown, it's like people that haven't scored touchdowns in like all season, and they magically score touchdowns when I bet on them. So I don't know what's going on there, but I decided to bet on the two. I think it was like a tight end parlay. So I needed a tight end for the Bengals, and I don't even freaking remember the guy's name. And then I needed Fant from the Steelers. I hope I got him right. Maybe I might have mixed the players up. Font might be with one and the other. See, guys, I'm not like will never tell you I'm an NFL queen. I'm not. So if you're laughing on the other end, enjoy my ignorance. Ignorance is bliss when it comes to this, because then I don't think too hard, right? Anyways, literally the game started, and in the first 2 seconds, one of them scored a touchdown. And Blake's like, dude, oh my gosh, you hit one. And it was just a 2-leg parlay, super cool. But when I bet on it, like Tressa said, it was like the amount was 555. And I'm like, oh, I'm totally hitting this shit. Because I didn't do anything. I didn't manipulate anything. I just put in my little number. I didn't bet much. And it populated 555 like instantly. And I'm like, well, that's dope. I've never seen that. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, I think this is the one. This is the one Tressa said not yet about, like she said, not yet, I'm like, okay. Anyways, and then I like kind of fell asleep, and I think I dreamt that this guy scored a touchdown. The other one, the Font, whatever he is. I think I dreamt it, and then Blake like screamed and threw me over, and then he really did it on the television, and it hit. And I was just so happy because like it was a pretty good amount. I'm not like nothing to scoff at, right? That's great. And I bet very little, and like I didn't know these people. I don't think I've ever watched this game in my life, but I totally did girl math that day to like, oh, I'll give myself a boost, and like, wow, this works. But anyways, my mouth was like wide for like 30 minutes. Like I didn't know how to shut my mouth. And so I was like texting Tress, I'm like, it hit, I won, because it was also like that. I know you were maybe watching it. I don't know if you're in Vegas still or.
I was home. I was watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, she's watching this game that I would have never watched. And like people were calling it the Icy Hot Bowl, because like the 45-year-old, quarterback. I know. Yeah, I knew them enough. And like honestly, it was a fun game. But this is, I think, why people like fantasy football. But if you're out here and you're a fantasy footballer, and I'm this amateur, ridiculous, ignorant person on this side, and I will totally be honest and admit that. But I get it now, kind of, because now I'm watching games I would have never watched. Like I would have never Blake's loving it. He's like, I can watch sports all the time now because I was trying to make money. He's like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. But yeah, I would have never totally watched that game. And I got into the game, and it was actually really exciting because like I was like paying attention, and I don't.
Yeah.
I now get it. I get it now, and I'm like, oh, I see. I see the fun. Anywho, so it was really cool. I won, and then the universe also blessed me with a reason to spend the money, and I was like, okay, cool. But like this goes back to things that I've been working on, and we talked a couple weeks ago about like the ball of yarn, right? Things begin to unravel. You're starting to unpack things. But I looked at it differently this time. To me, it was like, oh, the universe blessed me with this exact amount of money that I needed to take care of something that was unexpected, instead of looking at it from a scarcity lens. You know what I mean? Like before, some people might be like, oh, I make money, and then my washing machine.
Then I have to spend. Then this happens, and I have to spend it.
Yeah. But I looked at it differently. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I mean, it's not cool. I had to fix an alternator, but that's not fun. Instead of like crying about it, I was like, well, that's really cool. Like,
you have the money to
got a win, and then I unexpectedly like. This was not a thing to worry. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. I could take care of, and then there were other wins that happened in the week. It was a very, very crazy weekend, my friends. But like in the ebb and flow of the weekend, like I was thinking very differently. Like I went from this like, oh, random money to I'm fixing this. And then this is under warranty, so this was technically free, So the whole experience to me, I think, was the universe saying, okay, you say you've got this into practice now, or you say you want to do this. Now, how are you going to put it into practice? Like, that's to me what that was. Like, we're doing the work. So here we go. We're going through this is not a test. I don't like tests, but like, this is, all right, how are we doing? What are we going to do? How are we going to react? And what are we going to do in these moments? And so like to recognize the blessings within the whole experience was really cool. And even like, Blake was on board. Like Blake didn't go roll around and cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Like this is neat, and then this is a win. Anyways, so it was a really cool thing. I won. Yay. That was so much fun. And then I had some other fun things happen too. And it all worked out. And so I don't know. It was a really cool experience to see like all of it unfold in real time. Like you're doing the work, you're calling in the energy. Now here it is in real time, back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I kind of had an experience like that in Vegas. Before I went, I hadn't really thought too much about like, I was manifesting a little bit on gambling, right? Like making some money when I was there. And I just got this impression from my guides, like, you're going to make money on numbers, So I get there and I go out and I'm gambling with my mom and I'm just losing money left and right. Like nothing's hitting, just nothing. So anyway, I go back to my hotel and I was being a little bit of a brat in my head, like, right, I didn't make shit, and I tried Keno because I'm like, okay, those are numbers,
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward to the next day, that evening after dinner, I thought, okay, I'm going to go over and gamble a little bit. So I tried a couple of slot machines, nothing. Well, then I was going to walk back and I found a Keno machine. And so I'm like, okay, well, they said numbers.
Yeah.
So I played like my 4 spot with my 4 special numbers and I hit it with 3/4 in. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I hit like three times. I hit them exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I got a little bit of money from that. Anyway, fast forward to the next night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go try that Keno machine again. This time I'm going to do a 5 spot. And I just knew my guides were like, yeah, just do these numbers, stick with it. Yeah. And I hit a 5 spot for like $911.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
All my money back that I'd spent, like pretty much paid for my trip. So it was great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No,
but it was like at the beginning, I was just like, oh, I was just pissy,
Yeah.
But like if I just keep trusting like what I was supposed to do, but oh no, I'm still stubborn. Even in between that, I hit the 5 spot, then I have to go think I'm going to get my buffaloes because I'm just obsessed with getting these free spins.
Listen, I know what this is. Like I've witnessed this and I've witnessed it with her mother.
Been there.
It's honestly like the joy of my life. Like when she told me she was going to Vegas for work, but I knew she was going to see her mom, a little bit of me kind of like my heart went like, I wish I was there too. Yeah. Just to like watch this unfold. It's very intriguing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. We definitely
wonderful. No, I love it. I love it. I think about it and the sun and the moons and all of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the sun and the moons. Myers
they've got it dialed in, and I love it. It's the coolest thing. So when she said not yet, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm fucking hitting a bet.
Yeah, and I knew like something inside of me had. My guide says like, no, it's gonna be fine. Just trust us. But it's sometimes hard to trust because I'm like, well, what?
Yeah.
I just threw away 300. Not threw away, but gambled away $300 and nothing, and then boom, just gotta.
And then you hit it. No, I
pay attention. Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
I agree. Yeah, and it's like it's so interesting because I think about like my mom knew I hit the winning bet, and she was like, "Well, good thing you did, or now you lost it," and I'm like, I'm not, and then I had to think about like soul contracts, right, and thinking, and I wasn't really even thinking like that, And honestly, like the cost to fix the car was like barely anything. I mean, it was mind-blowingly inexpensive. And the guy did it and turned it around by the next morning. Like,
oh wow.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so those are wins, right?
Yeah.
But the battery was under warranty. So that's like $200 for a battery, right? There was not even a monetary exchange. We just took the battery and got a new battery. Like boom, 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 boom. There are like these other little synchronicities, and I think that you're right. Like in those moments, it could, you could be. I'm not perfect, right? And this is just very present in my life right now because these are. And at first, I did think a little like that, right? I'm like,
yeah, I totally get it.
Because I was great with the money. I put it into savings. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this in a savings. Like, thank you, universe. Like I didn't
Uh-huh.
even spend it. I didn't gamble it back. I was being gentle because money's a relationship, right? Like, how do you treat the money? How do
Yeah,
you
it
love the
is.
money? It's just energy. It's an exchange. And
Yeah.
I was like, I love you, little money. I bought myself something. I did. I bought myself a necklace because I was like, I should also treat the money well, like a little something, like a reward.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Thank you. And then this, there's the exchanges, right? Like, it's people are probably, if you're not into this, folks, and you stumbled on us for the first time and you're like, what the fuck is this? Welcome. But yeah, so like I'm loving my money, right? And I'm treating it well. And I even got a necklace and I put it in my cart and it gave me the other one I wanted to buy for free. Like,
Wow. See, it
yeah,
just keeps going.
it
Yeah.
was so
When you're in the
cool.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think because you could look at this from many ways, right? And I think the mindset's everything. It's the whole
It
point of
is.
this,
Yeah.
and it was so cool. So I loved it. I love it. I love gambling healthily. Like in a healthy way. Like we've talked about this before. And if this is, I can step away from it. It's not my whole world. You know what I mean? And I'm not ruining my life or someone else's life. There's no domino effect here. But it's something that it's just a fun little thing to do every now and then. And so it was cool that it hit and I won and it was fun. I it was a nice weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
it was what
Yeah.
I needed. The universe blessed me with a little bit of money, and it's what I needed. So,
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, it's funny. It's all about your mindset, right? And how you're looking at things or one of the things I try to always think, and I don't always think it very well, just like I shared with you, like I was getting a little down. I'm like, sure. But things are always working out for me, right? In the
yeah,
best scenario.
right,
They're always serving me in some way.
exactly.
We had our truck a few weeks ago. I'm still not quite, I'm pretty sure the engine's blown. I'm not
Oh,
100% sure
that's
yet.
sad
But yeah,
for me.
it's a
I
little
don't know.
sad. Yeah, a little. I
Bummer.
mean, but
Yeah,
as over these last few weeks, I've been like contemplating that a little bit. Like,
mhm.
and again, when I tune in and I'm really in the flow, I get the impression from my guides and my higher self that it's going to work out better than what I can imagine in my monkey mind, right? It's going
Yeah,
to be just fine. But then when I go back into that monkey mind, I'm thinking, oh God, if I would have got rid of that 2 months ago or 3 months ago, I would have at least had something worth something. Now and I just have to
yeah,
keep remembering. But it kind of has been a slow process to find out everything. So it'll be divine timing is playing its role too. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how it all kind of manifests in the next few weeks with what's going to
yeah.
happen.
No, totally. And like, it's so interesting because, we've gone through exchanges with cars and things, and, Magnolia gets very emotionally attached to ideas and outcomes and objects. There's the attachment thing, there's also her being youth. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's been really interesting because when vehicles have come and gone, homes have come and gone, like that's just
Yeah.
life. Um, things will come and go, people will come and go, and
Yeah.
I've really something that I have had her do recently, and then something, like Blake even was like, "That's a really great idea," and I'm like, "I know," but I've had her like hug it and thank it, like, thank you for
Mm-hmm.
providing, thank you for giving us, you're reliable, thanks for the safety, thank you for being in the car, and like tell it you love it and cry if you want to cry, like cry over the car, it's okay. And I think like in those moments too, I've also directed that same energy to our other car instead of being mad at it for not working, right? You think when you get down and you're like, stupid ass car, or I don't know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just,
Yeah. No, I
you
get it.
know,
Yeah.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm like, car, this is going to play out. Cause seriously, you're totally right. Like different situation, but same mindset. I mean, I went from Friday morning thinking one thing to Saturday it being fixed and better than I ever expected. Right.
Yeah.
Like in the moment you could go a million ways with something and it was just a snowball of it, but I just trusted. And Blake and I both trusted. We did we just went through the steps, like, okay, because the car needed to be towed. Like there was a whole,
Yeah.
guys, it was a fun weekend, okay? And like I couldn't even get my poor brother-in-law from the airport. Like we had to book him a shuttle. Like it just became, guys, it was real eventful. So in this moment, it was like going through the strides and everything just like worked out better than we could have imagined. And so it's the same concept too with this vehicle. Like, I don't want to, I've been thinking positively, like, this was the easy fix. It was an easy fix and it was done fast and it's not a big deal. And now it's safe. Now no one's going to be driving down the interstate. It's Blake's commuter car now. He's not going to be driving down the interstate and blow up and die. You know, like, we can be thankful this happened in the moment. So, like, I agree with you. It's the mindset, and it's been really cool to see my own personal mindset and then also to see people's mindsets around me. And then now that I have a different mindset, like, I can catch, like, I caught my mom's response very fast and I didn't attach to her response. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to
Be aware.
be aware of it and to protect myself from making any attachments from that energy. And so, like, honestly, to me, this is what life, being in flow, truly is here. Like, these are those moments, like, they're little, the daily, the moments that come and go, the ones you don't expect. How do you react? How do you move through them? And what is your thought process and the way your reality goes? And you're right. And everything that I do, I put out there that the outcome is for my highest good. That whatever is meant for me is happening in that moment for my highest good, that there's no other attachments to whatever it is. And it's taken me a really long time to even get to somewhat of that place. And like, I'm still working on truly being in flow in other aspects of my life.
Yeah, I get that. It's kind of like what we were going to talk about a little bit today too, when we met last week and were not able to record because of our technical difficulties. I was telling Myra I'd been listening to a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you guys have heard of him, and he was just talking about the concept of conscious solitude. And I was telling Myra, like, that's something I've been working on practicing. And she said, yeah, I'm going to start practicing it. And so we could touch base on that this week. And, when I thought about the idea of conscious solitude, it was kind of the concept of what people call meditation as well. But it is slightly different to me because just sitting with yourself for 10 or 15 minutes in silence, I've been trying to do that every day, at least one time a day, where I'm just sitting with myself and focusing on my breath. Now, what I've found is that, I have thought, obviously, the thoughts are coming in and out. But if I bring my energy back into my body, like if I have a lot of thought going on and I just try to bring the attention back into my breath or into my heart energy, it's given me moments of where I've really felt just completely present with myself, where nothing else is happening. And it's just, that is such a euphoric feeling. I now that I've told some clients about it too. I'm like, you're going to be chasing that feeling, because it truly is, when you have those moments where nothing else is happening but you're present with yourself, and that's it, because that is truly all that's happening in the moment. It's like the most beautiful energy. Mm-hmm. And I also think that since I've been doing this for only a few weeks, that even my third eye energy, or that voice, when I do hear the voice, or that intuition, it seems heightened. It seems to be guiding me more effectively, or I'm hearing it better, maybe because I'm giving myself that time to just really feel present. But what it's made me crave is more presence with everything, right? Like being more present in conversations with people, being more, your mind's always going everywhere, and being more present in the moment, trying to really be just in that moment without having a lot of projection or reflection, which is hard for us as humans, unfortunately. So I'm seeing a difference, and I know you said you were going to practice it.
Yeah, so
last week.
Yeah, I chose to participate in it, and I love the way that you're describing it, because really it is a moment so your energy can recalibrate, and it's for you to kind of that reset so that you're returning to your natural vibration without any penetration of thoughts or objects or other things, noise, outside noise. I don't know, noise is an easy word when I think about other people or places or object or whatever entering. I'm the queen of intrusive thoughts. So for me, it's mental noise. At first I was telling Tressa when I did it, I was like, okay, what the hell this is no different than meditation. I'm like, okay, because I had read about it too, and I had heard about it, and I'd seen it, and I knew what she was talking about, and I was like, okay, because when we met the last week, we both felt inspired to both be like, okay, well, we're going to do this the whole week too. This will be really cool, and then we can get together and talk about it in the episode as we've both experienced it in the week. And normally when we get together, we've had different experiences, but they're aligned, and I believe in that and the timing of that. So this was very different. And so when I was doing it, I'm thinking, okay, all right, whatever. And then I had to really, like, once I started doing it and truly practicing it, I could definitely see the separation between, and it is a meditation, but it's a different form of meditation. And that's exactly what Tressa was saying in the beginning. But the way this also ties back in for me personally is something that I've been working on. I've been working on a lot, folks. I'm freaking tired. I'm like so tired. I'm like next level falling asleep all the time. Like the only thing I can compare this to is first trimester sleepiness. If you've ever been pregnant out there.
Pregnancy.
Yeah. Like, and so I know that this means that I'm up leveling. Something's going on. I'm clearing a lot of shit. Okay. I am ascending. This is what I believe I'm truly ascending here. And so I'm freaking exhausted. Okay. Like I can't even tell you. I think I might have felt this way one other time going through a major shift with my energy and like my shedding old belief systems and doubts and feelings and releasing a lot of energy. Anyways, I'm struggling. It's difficult. So when I was practicing solitude, I'm thinking, God, I'm so tired, and like, oh my gosh. But really, once I started doing it, like the whole point of it is for that reset, because like I am going through things. And like I said, I'm working on a few things. And one of the things that I felt, I hadn't really used my dragon cards in a long time.
Yeah, I love them.
Yep, Diane Cooper. If you've never heard of Diane Cooper, she's amazing, and she has the Dragon Oracle cards. She even has a book with the Dragon Oracle cards that can help explain.
And also, good.
It's so good, yes. And so like, before the episode, I was telling Tressa about it, and I went and got the cards I pulled this week, and then I had written stuff down because, I'm learning, and I journal. I've been journaling again, and part of that journaling process is if I want to go back and download what I wrote and then see what I feel about it, because eventually this will also be intuitive too. Like, yes, I can hear in the words of Diane Cooper what it means, but when I tune into my own energy, these will have different meanings for me too. And I can take those things and it just continues to expand, right? And what message is meant for me. So anyway, I pulled a couple cards this week, and one of the ones that really resonates with this, it's a golden orange dragon card. And I bring this up because this card is about basically, one, it's orange. So because it's orange, it's your you can coordinate that color to the solar plexus. That's one way, that's one layer of this dragon, of this card. This goes back to like, this card has its own interpretation, plus then you can continue to go on intuitively with it. And so when you look at the solar plexus, you're looking at your authentic expression. And something that came up from it too is it's safe to be seen. Well, if you go back to the last several episodes, one of the things that I've been working on is being in true authenticity, being able to truly be seen, be able to express comfortably, and to feel that I'm expressing without judgment. I've released a lot of childhood trauma about expressing myself authentically. Wow, I can't English right now.
Yeah. Authentically, yeah.
Without ties or judgment, whether it be in my family, friends, etc. This is why I'm tired, folks. Okay. So in all of this card also relates to the balance of the feminine and masculine and being in flow. And again, expression, right? Creative expression can also fall into that. And your solar plexus, this is a whole thing. It starts to web out and it's beautiful. So one of the things that I called in this week was to work on being in flow state, diving into being more on the feminine side, because I've mentioned it many times on here, and that I lean heavily into my masculine side. I'm doing a lot, and I could feel myself saying out loud things like, I feel like I'm doing everything. So I didn't feel supported. So I feel like I was doing a bunch. So that felt to me that there was an imbalance in my energies. And so I pulled this card, right? And Tressa mentions last week, the conscious solitude. There's my,
thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this card comes up, I dabbled a little in my tarot. I haven't done that in a really long time either. And I just wanted to see what the spread said. I don't have the spread or the words written up in front of me, but either way, the cards basically painted the same picture. I pulled another dragon card that talked about more of my third eye and being aligned with Archangel Metatron and the cosmos. Like, there's a whole lot happening here, okay? And all of these things were telling me exactly the same thing. And when I was reading more into conscious solitude and really like wanting to embrace it, part of that is the original reason I struggled with it is I needed it to have an outcome, which is my masculine side. That is masculine energy. Doing the outcome, it needed to have a purpose, a reason, like what is the objective here? On the feminine side, we're calling in the flow of it. I'm practicing conscious solitude with no expectation at all because I'm being in flow with myself, one with myself. So again, oneness, being one with your own energy, being able to be fully present in that energy and not have any expectations tied to the outcome of what would come from this practice. So like in a long-winded explanation here, every single one of the things that showed up for me this week was tied to the same principle, which again is just a whole nother confirmation from the universe, my guides, for me in my face very boldly that I'm moving in the right direction. And this is exactly what I needed to be working on to continue to move into the next step as I continue to peel this onion of myself, that I've been having a ball with, right, over the last several weeks.
Yeah, I love it when they give you confirmation or the synchronicities. You know what else I was thinking as you were talking is we both dedicated ourselves to this conscious solitude, and both of us saw a flow of money this week.
Yeah.
I mean, unexpected money, right?
Yeah.
That's not coincidence.
No.
There's no coincidence about that. But it's funny, I was looking for something on my phone as you were talking because you were talking about being tired.
Yeah.
And I found this just today and I did a screenshot of it because it really hit me. And it says, nobody really talks about this, but once you start healing past trauma and your body comes out of fight or flight mode, which is what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. You're going into the parasympathetic nervous system more. Your body will crave a lot of rest and silence. Your body finally starts to feel safe in the peace and quiet, the calm. You aren't lazy. Your body's just catching up on all the years it didn't have the stillness. And I thought that was so interesting because I feel tired a lot too lately.
Yeah.
And I think the more that, your body is representative, the body's representing your physical energy, right? Your emotional energy. It makes a lot of sense that the body is now catching up. And so more rest could be needed. Just like what you're saying, it's the same principle, right? We're same things happening. We're using a little bit different terms. But as your vibration shifts, that is a vibrational energy shift, right? That you're allowing yourself to go into that vibration. Anytime you have those changes, the body has to catch up and it might need more rest. You might have other physical symptoms that happen.
Yeah.
But that's probably what you're experiencing.
Yeah, it's difficult to keep my eyes open. And I had over 9.5 hours of sleep last night. Okay. I am well rested.
I know. I get it. Yeah.
And I'm struggle bussing. And I remembered, when this happened before where my vibration was changing, it was very similar. Or I think it might have been you that told me too, I would be really tired. Like, hey, you're going to be really tired. I can't remember if I was having a headache or might have headaches, it could be,
mm-hmm.
and I've been having a lot of headaches recently. And then after the headaches went away though, now I'm just like, I'm so exhausted. It's so true. Like I've been doing a lot of the releasing around scarcity, fight or flight, being in fear, being like survival. Like I have to have all the answers. I have to know, I have to hustle. I have to do this. I have to do that, tied to all these outcomes. And, it's so interesting because like I can, this weekend proved to me Like, again, I'm telling the universe, I'm in flow. I'm in flow. I'm in divine. I believe in the divine timing. I believe in the divinity of what is happening is meant for me, right? And that's what I had to do this weekend. I had to move through flow and trust in the divinity of the universe. And these things are showing up for me, not to happen to me, but for me, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
what needed to happen, and it was a smoother, easier. It was easy. Like I just said, it was easy. Like it was a very fixable thing, and we got it back in zip time. Like, who gets a car back in less than 24 hours? Like, okay. I mean, there was absolutely no true hiccup in our lives. Like, it came easy. We weren't begging for a mechanic. We weren't, you know what I mean? Like, it was, and that is the trusting part. And so, like, I can feel my vibration shifting, and I can feel like the physical body, and even mentioning the physical body catching up, part of also being in flow for me and being in more of the feminine energy and trying to balance my energies out. I've been doing a lot of hip stretches, and so like I've been physically releasing in the hips. We talked about before, movement or dance. You can move your hips, you can do these things, but I'm not one to stretch. Okay, like, come at me, bro. I'm not one to stretch. I have worked out all my life and I hate stretching. And so part of stretching, though, is because, again, it didn't have no outcome, in quotations. Like, I needed it to have an outcome, right?
Yeah.
So every morning I've been, like, part of my new ritual is I've been stretching, and like I can feel a difference in my day and my body, and my body's catching up to that too, so like there's all these different layers and things happening, and the physical body is a representation of the inner body and what's going on in my mind and what's happening and what's releasing. And so yeah, you're totally right, and I can feel like parts of my physical body loosen too as I'm working through different areas, and I'm able to recognize. And part of the conscious solitude, and when I do meditations, I do a lot of flame meditations for me because it keeps the mental noise out. But with this, I didn't do anything. I just was alone with myself. And now I feel like I've noticed more this week feelings in my body around things I've said or what people have said or actions I've done. I can feel more for me personally, but that I hadn't really been able to recognize and tune into areas and feelings and emotions that I wasn't really tuned into before for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're more aware. It's giving you a heightened sense of awareness. Yeah, I know. I had worked the weekend before, then I traveled again, and I got home Thursday afternoon, and I took Friday off because I'd worked a zillion days in a row. And I slept, I went to bed like at 9:30 Thursday night, slept till probably 9 that morning. And then I took like 2 naps that day.
Yeah.
I just was, and that's how, when I'm around a lot of people too, like I need that alone time. I need that decompression time to recalibrate for myself. So yeah, and I think part of it is just honoring that for yourself. And not sometimes that little thing in your head's going, you're going to waste a day with sleep, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. And you start judging yourself, I think it's just letting yourself, trusting that when your body needs rest, it really does need rest.
Yeah.
And just allowing that time and that space for yourself without judgment.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah. And as you were talking too, it made me think about, you said you took personal time off. So that could be vacation for some people. It could be sick time for some people. My job calls it a DTO, whatever. That's fine. Same thing, right? You're out of office.
Yeah.
And something that I thought about too is before I'd never really took days off, and I just would somehow still work through the days I took off, or I would still try to be present and not really unplug from that side of my life. And that is also an imbalance. That's not true flow. That's energy of lack. That's being in that same kind of concept of lack, right? Because you feel like or for me personally, I felt like I needed to hoard the time. I needed it. I needed to have it just in case, because of scarcity, or for the time would never come back. Those are similar energies that you can have around money or abundance or anything, and it's that scarcity lack energy. And, I was going through the time off that I have because it's coming up, end of the year. And I looked at my bank, and I can roll sometime over, and I'm not going to use all of it. I mean, it's the end of the year. I mean, God, it's October, unless I take off, several weeks. But I went through, and it was really painful for me to put in time off. Like, I had to really work through those emotions, and like I could feel a release actually taking time off. Like I don't know why I'm tied to those social cues. I don't know why I feel that. I mean, a lot of it is around I was raised by boomers, like for my age, you know, my mom's the same age as your mom, and but you could be my mom. So like it's very interesting, even though I'm this younger millennial, I'm not that young anymore, but I'm a millennial, you know, category of folks. I have a lot of the same practices that you might feel, Tressa, because of the same upbringing or same concepts that, you know,
Yeah.
here
Well, yeah, it's the same
pass
upbringing,
down.
same
Yeah.
belief structures. Yeah.
Yeah. So like part of this too has been allowing myself to take time off from work and to know that like this isn't scarcity. Isn't like there's no fear based around it. Like I'm allowed to take time off from work too. So being in rest that way and to not be in control and to be in flow for me that way too. And so I went in and put in actual days to take off that I will actually take off.
Yeah, and not actually work.
Yeah, not tune in and not.
I think there's sometimes a fear, and I think you're right, it comes from our programming and that generation that we were raised by, a fear of relevance. Like being seen means relevance, right? Yeah. Being present means relevance. Yeah. That's not the truth, but that's the concept in our head, right? Yeah. If we're not there, we relevant. Will they, you know? And it's just funny. It's tied to worth, yeah. Yeah. Well, because so many of us, and that generation especially, you know, their identity was so wrapped up in their careers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's still to some degree that way today. You know, we've talked about this before. When you meet somebody, what's one of the first things that usually comes up in conversation? What do you do for a living?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, like that is who you are, which it isn't.
No. Oh, no.
But
oh, no, I know. No,
we
seriously.
tie it to that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like this just came up. This is kind of random, but last year I remember telling Catherine, our mutual friend, that I didn't want to go to Thanksgiving because I didn't know what to tell people because I knew my job was ending and I didn't have anything lined up. How stupid is that? How ridiculous is that? I mean, I was so in my head about it, and I was like, how am I going to tell them I'm unemployed? And Catherine's like, well, you're not unemployed. And I wasn't unemployed, and it didn't really matter, but I felt like there was an expectation that I needed to have an answer to what was happening with that situation and then what would be my next steps, you know? And that just caused a lot of what we have many episodes on this already, but it snowballed into me like pushing and forcing so many outcomes over those few weeks and those couple of months. This was just one of those things, you know, like just today, someone asked me, how's work? And I looked at him and said, what the fuck kind of question is that? Like, you've never asked me before, how's work? What do you mean, how's work? I don't know. I think it was just like, I don't want to, that's not my small talk. If you want to talk, no, I don't. You know, and not to be mean, but I was just like, you've never asked me that in my life. What the fuck do you mean, how's work? Like, I'd rather you be like, oh, are you on your period? I don't know. You know, I would rather you ask me that. Like, are you in sync? I don't know. Or do you like apples still? You know, that makes more sense to me than how's work. Like, it was so weird. And it's, you know, I don't tie myself to that anymore. And I align myself with passion. And if this is bringing me enjoyment that way, not worth of self and identity anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. I get what you're saying. I try to like not have my job be a topic of conversation with people in my life outside of where I'm at work, right? But it's difficult because so many people are accustomed to that. I can think of a lot of my family. I got some close friends that, you know, as soon as we start a dialogue, they're like, how's your job going? What's going on? Fine. Like, and it's hard. You're trying not to be disrespectful or rude, but, you know, it's like, don't we have something better to talk about? And if not, then let's just be quiet. I'm okay in silence also. You know, but yeah, it's challenging for sure. Yeah. Because that's what we're, again, programmed to think about and talk about and, make relevant in our lives. Exactly. But, you know, I was thinking also, too, just you should really think about that. I mean, we're coming up on, you know, November, Thanksgiving time frame, and think about how far you've come in a year. It's pretty impressive.
Oh
to
yeah,
look
it
back
is.
at that.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Speaking of, honestly, so November 3rd is when my dad passed away. And so that first week of November is a very interesting time for my life. I use my dad's anniversary as a time to reflect. It's my New Year's. I don't know. Like I think about every year I reflect back and be like, what's changed in the last year? What's different? Like I always think about the girl in that moment when I realized my reality of the situation when he was truly gone. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was begging and pleading the universe and, God, don't let him die. But I knew he's dead. So I think about her in that moment and I go back to visit her a lot. And not to like wallow in it, but it's like a reflection for me personally. I
Yeah.
think about like, wow, that's so crazy. I can't believe that's been, I think it's almost 13 years now or 12 years, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I think about it and I go back like, wow, I'm such a different person than her. And I think about what's happened in the last year and like, when I've had kids that year, I got married, where I look at little different milestones or like, wow, now I'm living in North Carolina, and at that time, so like it's really weird. I remember going to Union because it was also during the election. And so it's a very prominent memory for me in the last week and all of that lining up. And because it's also near my dad's death date, I went.
Yeah.
I think I flew out. So it was the Sunday, the 3rd, and I flew out on Monday. So, anyways, this all was the same kind of time frame. And
Yeah, it
so
was.
I already kind of think about it anyways, because it's like, wow, well, that year I thought about, damn, 18-year-old Myra, you were going through this now this year. Like I think like, well,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, and this was different. And so it's really interesting. So I don't know what it is for me in November, the first week of November. But it holds some significance that maybe I need to ask why, or like, what is the shift around that time for me as a person? I don't know what it is, but it's really cool to see as I reflect back, just even in the last year, how different I am and how different everything unfolded in a way that I would have truly never expected, but it's all working out. Everybody's alive, and the fear and the scarcity I held around, like, what if that position ends? What if that title goes away? What do I do next? Was not real. And it just is proof. I guess if I say anything today, it's proof that your thoughts, those voices in your head, are not real unless you make them real. Like we say, your thoughts become your reality. Well, I put that out there and I dwelt upon it and then it ended. And then what it was never really what it was, So
yeah, it's interesting you talk about that. Like maybe there is a significance in the time of the beginning of November, or is it because you focus on that time, you make it significant, right?
Yeah, no,
That's what
right,
I mean, do you know what I mean? Like we bring that energy. That's the truth. Like, people have a lot of people I know focus on specific dates or things or, anniversaries of death or birth or we have birthdays for heaven's sakes, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting concept to think about though, because we bring the significance, but you're right. It's true. But underneath the thoughts are the beliefs.
Yeah.
Everything starts with your belief, then your thoughts are creating your reality and then your actions to the reality. So just, something to think about as you go into this, 2 weeks away from your significant week of life.
I'm going to the Jonas Brothers concert, so it's something fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I've been thinking about. I'm like, I'm going to Jonas Brothers. I've been like putting out joy, so hopefully put joy to that.
Yeah, put joy in there. That joyful things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think it's about time. We've been on here for almost an hour.
Yeah.
Went fast.
It is fast.
All right.
To sleep now.
Well, any final thoughts or you good?
I'm good. Have a great week, folks. Whenever you're listening to this, hope it's been a good week.
Yeah, whenever you find us, it's meant to be. Until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
And stay sassy.